As we continue to receive emails, sometimes dozens of them every single day, it can be a little bit overwhelming trying to keep them organized. So there's a fancy new way of organizing them, and it's called labels. If you think, it's kind of like an analogy of when you were in Outlook and you would create folders and you'd drop emails in there. I want you to think about it slightly from a different perspective, though. Instead of putting things into a folder, what we're going to do is label things so that if I click on any of these labels, only the emails that are labeled with that specific thing will show up. So if I go to my action required label, only those emails that were labeled action required will show up. If I go to awaiting response, I know that only those are the ones that are going to show up there. So if I go back to my inbox, you can see I have those emails showing up there. Some of these are unlabeled. I haven't gotten to them yet. But if I wanted to create a new label, there are a couple different ways we can go about it. I can go to this More menu right here and go all the way down to the bottom and create a new label. That's one way to do it. Another way is, let's say I go into an actual email and I'll say, okay, I want to label this email. I want to make a new label and give it a label. So I'm going to go up to the label icon right here and I tap on that and then I create a new label. So let's say this is an email from a student, so I'm going to say student question. Okay, and then I'm going to create that label, and now you notice that it's labeled up there at the top. So let's go back here. We have that label there. It's kind of bland. That gray is the default that they do. So you can actually go over to the label on the left side here, and if you hit the three dots, you can choose a different color for the label. So I'll give it a nice, I don't know, greenish. Okay, so now that will be labeled as this. Now if I wanted to say this is a student question and another label applied to it, so I'm going to go to my labels again and I'm going to say I have some action required here. Okay, so if I go back to my inbox, now you can see both of those labels showed up. This gets a little tricky after a while because you will have so many labels that you won't even be able to see the subject line of it. But for now, we have two labels here, and this is how you make labels for diverse conversations.